Here are some tips for being an effective product manager. As Cindy mentioned in week one, the hardest part of my job is communication. When you're working with a cross-functional team, you often have people with very different strengths and communication styles. So a lot of things I'm going to break down now are easier said than done. So remember always that as a product manager, you manage the product, not people. So I have no authority over whether or not my coworkers really do something. My job is to make sure we build the right product for the problem, satisfy our users, and meet our brand objectives. And I can't do that by myself. So a lot of these tips are about building good relationships so that people will want to work with you. The most important thing that I've learned managing projects over the last few years is it doesn't really matter how good your ideas are. What matters is what gets done, and you can't really do anything alone. If you're preoccupied with taking all the credit or married to your own ideas, people won't want to work with you or follow your leadership. So learning how to influence people and bring out the best in them is a sign of a really awesome product manager. Become the expert on your users. Product managers are charged with aligning brand goals, technical requirements, and user experience. How do you know what your user needs? Ask them. Talk to your users, talk to your readers. Conduct qualitative research, like in-person interviews, and quantitative research, like website behavior tracking and surveys. I also highly recommend bringing everybody else in, from designers, editors, engineers. Create an interview guide, and then help other people schedule time to talk to real people who read your news. The more people understand who the user is, the better able they'll be to design and build the right product. Use analytics and data effectively. Knowing how to gather your own site analytics, user surveys, and analyze that data is an invaluable skill for a product manager. You could have a reporter or data analyst on staff that can help you, but you should know how to gather this baseline information to establish the requirements of a product and measure the success. This could be ensuring that you have behavior trackers on the site like Google Optimize or Optimizely. It could be that knowing how to access your company's CRM and segment your audiences to track their behavior across your product suite. How do you establish that you've met an organization's objectives with a product if you're not tracking it with concrete data? Learn tech speak and agile workflows. In the first week, Cindy taught us what agile workflows look like. A lot of the conflict in product management in newsrooms comes from the inherent differences between the way newsrooms and engineers structured the delivery of work. So newsrooms are fast-paced and deadline-driven, and software and web development is slow and iterative. A good newsroom product manager knows how to speak to both sides and foster better communication between them. Create transparency. Find an appropriate way to create transparency in the product development process so that the team knows what other people are working on and how decisions are being reached. Being transparent helps people feel secure and prevents miscommunication. At the same time, you don't want to overwhelm everyone with things that aren't essential to their job. So being transparent does not mean CCing everyone on every single email about a project. It means ensuring that the right people are included in various parts of the decision-making process and consolidating that into an understandable feed for everyone. Use communication tools and standardize how information is shared. Put information in the same place, and that way people will know where to find it. At the Tribune, we use Basecamp for product management and Slack for chat, but the principle is the same no matter what platforms you're on. Aggregate all the information related to your product into the same place, and then that means people will know where to look for it. Document major decisions, how you reach them, post the agenda, notes for meetings, collect inspirational links. If you've done analysis on the product's analytics and revenue, put that somewhere. Have a consistent way to assign your tasks and deadlines. Know when to schedule a meeting, when not to, and always set an agenda. Meeting culture can make or break an organization. Provide as much information as you can ahead of a meeting, and then document the decisions, unresolved questions, and any actions or tasks that result from the meeting. If possible, you want to avoid weekly or bi-weekly standing meetings. It's better to have a quick check-in when something has actually happened than to bring everyone into a room when things are still in flux and there isn't something new to talk about. Instead of scheduling 30 minutes or an hour, I like to schedule 20 minutes to 50 minutes. That gives people between calendar events some time to switch gears and also lets them know that we're going to be, on schedule and making things happen so we're not taking away time that they could be using for something else. Also, don't hold people ransom. Let them know that if they feel like something is outside their scope or they don't need to be there, that they're welcome to leave. You'll provide notes on what happens anyways. Build inclusive cross-functional teams. Think about all the skills that your product requires and then bring people in the very beginning. Even if you think their role is going to be small, they might surprise you and provide some insight that you didn't know ahead of time. So it's better to talk to a developer when a reporter initially pitches a new data product than to wait 4 months and have that developer tell you that what you're asking them is entirely impossible. Identify all of the areas that the product is going to need expertise on. This could be someone who handles media partner relationships or marketing. It could be ad sales or sponsorship. Make sure that the team has the proper communication channels set up so all these people can help you make the product a success. Learn each person's preferred communication style and check in with them. Some people hate being interrupted. Some people love chatting. Some people would rather write down their thoughts than have a conversation. You work with people, not automatons, so get to know them and their individual styles. Basically, you need to know how to least annoy people on your team so that you can work with them and get them to get things done. Validate your teammates' points of view and expertise. Give credit to everyone else's ideas. Use their name when you're relaying an idea that they proposed to someone else. Tell them when you're really impressed by something that they've done. Give them compliments when you're reviewing their work and when you're around other people. When a product is successful, there's enough credit and goodwill to go around. So make sure that people feel happy and appreciated because they'll do better work. That's it for this video. Thank you guys. If you have any questions or if you have additional tips you'd like to share with everybody else, feel free to leave them in the discussion channels. Bye.